1 week ago, I was convinced these potatoes just weren't coming up. And now suddenly everything in the garden is starting to wake up. The amount of change in just 1 week is honestly kind of wild. Today I'll be walking through what's growing, what has finally germinated, and just how much everything has been changing. And just over the past week, it's been incredible. All right, I am starting in the potato bed because last week there was nothing going on in this spot. Now everything just finally woke up, everything is growing, and I'm super excited about it. I planted Yukon Gold seed potatoes here. What day was it? April 14th. And we're 1 month later, and things have finally woken up, and I'm super excited about it. It's amazing how as soon as the temperature and the soil temp and everything just hits that sweet spot, everything just, that's the signal for everything to wake up and go. These are my peas. These are sugar snap peas. And here too, like I planted these direct sow. This was April 12th, and we're just about a month later. But last week they were just starting to pop out of the soil, and now they're giving it their all. And I'm always on the lookout for the first pea to grab the trellis. It's my little overachiever pea, and I'm looking for it, and I don't see it yet, but that's not going to be long. So a lot of change in the peas, a lot of change in the potatoes. Let me come around this way because it's a beautiful day today. The garlic still looks good. Everything is looking normal there. There's a little bit of the yellowing leaves. I think that's just because there was a ton of rain, so no concerns there. The green, I planted these 2 blueberries. These are my Plan B blueberries. We used to have blackberries here that didn't do very well. I picked up, you'll notice I've got some pine needles in here. I picked up some pine needles from around the property, and we planted a pine tree that shed its needles, and I just pick them up and throw them in the blueberry beds because they're supposedly beneficial to the soil. Our lettuce is doing good. They're starting to form look like little lettuces now. They're not just little sprouts anymore. They're looking really good. That is the romaine. This is the butter crunch. This is the Grand Rapids. Corn salad looks small, but they don't really get much bigger than kind of like a little rosette. And then we still have the seedlings coming up. That's all good. They're a little bit behind, but that's normal. And the carrots. Look at this, you guys. We have carrots. Planted a little thickly there. But I know that I plant in that little trench method, and I just sprinkle some carrots along the trench, knowing that I'm going to come back and thin them. So that's one variety, and then the other variety is up here, and they're coming up too. So that is awesome. Another little batch, which I'll have to thin, but that's okay. So everything is doing well. The greens are also doing well. Let me take a peek under here. This is my little undercover bok choys, looking really good. We have bok choy. What else do I have under here? Bok choy, mustard greens, collards, and kale. The kale looks really good too. Look at these guys. Look good. And then the arugula. Arugula looks good. Let's see if I can get under here again. Look how happy everybody looks. So that looks good as well. What else is going on? Oh yeah. This is what green onions look like. These little things here. So what we saw in the previous video was in fact a weed, which I have since pulled. But green onions look wispy like this. So they're up. All the turnips are up. I'll get a good shot of turnips. So they are looking good. And then the famous radishes that I didn't have much luck with last year, they are coming up as well. They look good. They're so fast. So that's looking good. And then the onions that I planted look fine. And then this is the second batch of arugula. And then the spinach, look, spinach boomed. So that's looking really good. It's actually looking like spinach now. So that's awesome. So everything is good. We've got a lot more buds on the fruit trees. Check this out. This is the nectarine. There's buds. Lots going on. So I won't go plant by plant. However, I'm excited. It's going to be awesome. But let me go show you the rhubarb. It's still alive, you guys. It's still there. And it looks great. I'm so excited. Come down here. There it is. It's alive. It's doing well. That bright red. I'm excited. Especially since I didn't think that one was coming back. Okay, so everything in the garden is doing well. Everything finally kicked in. It's going to move quickly now. These are the 2 beds that I'm going to be putting in my my tomatoes and cucumbers and melons in 2 or 3 weeks, as soon as the nighttime temperatures stay above 10 Celsius. That's kind of the sweet spot for that to happen. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you really quickly is I planted up the woodland garden. Let me show you that. Walk down over there. We've had a lot of rain, as you can see. There's a little bit of pooling still because it was a lot of rain. And you know what? That's why the garden is doing so well. Okay, so let me get a close look here. All right, so we've got forget-me-nots. That's the first thing that I planted. I grew those from seed. And then I had planted, I've got a Solomon seal up there. We've got Brunnera and foam flower on this side. I have this empty spot here, which I'm not sure if I'm going to leave it and just let everything grow into that spot or do something else, but I'm planning on putting an iris here and one on this side over here. And then on this side, I also planted it up. And there's a nice little couple of things that are moving here. So again, I have Brunnera in this space. I have 2 Solomon seal, and look at what I saw yesterday. It's so pretty. It's blooms. Now this plant, this is the giant. So this is going to get like 4 feet tall and wide, and it's kind of like a vase. Like it's going to create these frond-like blades of leaves with the little blooms. I think it's going to look really good. I have more Brunnera here in that middle layer, and then in the front here is woodland phlox, which is just starting to bloom, which is so pretty. And then up here, this is where the lupins are supposed to be. And I took a closer look yesterday, and I don't see any here. However, come with me, folks. Let me tell you how excited I was yesterday. I have another flower bed on the other side of the house where I seeded lupins last year. I think it was in August, where I prepped the seeds. I had been storing them in my fridge as just to get, to have that cold period. And then, ooh, it's very moist in the grass here. Bear with me, guys. And then I scarified them, which is essentially just scraping them between 2, like sandpaper. And then I planted them, and they did come up. Now, hold on. I'm trying to find what I saw yesterday. Bear with me. Okay. There is one. I'm so excited, you guys. That's one. That's another. And I didn't go I didn't see anything else down the bed, but there's movement, which I'm excited about. So this, don't mind the tarp, that's for our secret project that I'm working on. This whole bed, I seeded lupins in. But the fact that we have some movement and there's some coming back, I'm really excited about that. So that's awesome. And then this whole area is going to be part of our project this year. We're extending this dry riverbed. It's going to go out a bit and meet up with that mound that you see in the distance there. But I have plans for this area, but that's going to be a next year. We're laying the groundwork with the dry riverbed and cleaning this up. And then planting this area will be next year's project, which I'm excited about. It's amazing how things move so quickly, and the change is like almost every day there's something new going on. And the clover looks fantastic back there, and on the side of the house. Check this out. Look how nice it looks. It's like really filled in. Pollinator garden is growing too. Everything's starting to leaf out. I did a bit of weeding. I still have some to do. There's weeds over there. And I know it's hard to see because it's in the shade right now, but the clover is doing well too. All right. However, while all of this is happening, I am still growing my summer seedlings inside under grow lights. I'm probably due to start hardening them off pretty soon. I've been keeping an eye on the 10-day forecast, and I can't transplant them out until nights are over 10. And I see like one day later next week where that's going to happen. But until then, I'm kind of just keeping them inside. I up-potted them last week just to give them a little bit more room. While I'm out here, this is going to be the site of our future shed. And that area back there, there's a few dead trees that we're going to have to remove in the front here, but in my mind, this is probably going to be some form of shade garden. And we're going to need to have a little bridge here. Hold on, let me show you what I'm thinking. Like just to come over if the shed is back there, we're going to have some form of little bridge just to be able to roll the lawnmower over the dry riverbed and to meet the path that's existing. Anyway, let me give you a quick update on how my summer seedlings are doing. And these are my summer seedlings. So we've got tomatoes and basil, and these are looking good. If you remember how my turnips turned out, this is a much different situation. Everybody's doing well. I have 3 different types of tomatoes in there. And look at the basil. The basil looks so good. And then I have marigolds growing. And they're about to bloom. Look at that. So those are doing well. I usually pop in a marigold in almost every raised bed that I have. I don't put one in the garlic. But I don't mind the cat. He's been following me around today. I don't know why. Hello. He's my helper. So we've got marigolds, we've got that. I've got a few little herbs left. I'm just waiting for them to get a little bit larger. I may or may not up-pot them because right now it's May, what day is it today? The 13th. Normally I plant everything out, all my summer stuff out the May long weekend, assuming that nights are above 10, which right now it doesn't look like that. So depending how big these get, I might just pop them in. I might just leave them in pods. I don't know if I'm going to put them in these little cups over the next 2 weeks or not. I'll kind of play that by ear and see. And then I've got my tray of columbines, which I started from seed, which look really good. And all of these I've been hardening them off. That's why there's a little bit of pink on them from the cold, but they'll be fine. I'll be transplanting those out eventually. And then I've started cucumbers, but there's not much going on there yet. There's like a few. Hold on, let me pop these so you can see them. There's a few growing. I'm waiting for the rest to wake up. But that's been fun. And then while everything is growing outside for the spring, I'm babying these ones inside. And we'll transplant them out in probably 2-3 weeks. It's honestly amazing how different the garden already looks after just 1 week. A lot of these beds looked almost empty in my last tour, and now everything finally seems to be waking up. I feel like the next couple of weeks are going to completely transform this space. And I'll keep sharing updates as everything fills in.